playing as well as he did. This is a guy that, you said it earlier, he averaged a double-double this year, and people still look at it as, well, he really didn't play all that well. Or I mean, this kid cannot win with this fan base, by the way. Like, I'm almost glad that he's graduated, because I'm so sick and tired of having to argue with this fan base that this young man is a very good college basketball player. And, I know that you've probably seen it, and a lot of fans have probably seen it. They're trying to get his jersey up in the rafters. Even though he doesn't officially qualify with the qualifications that we have, he has won so many awards that there are fans that are trying to make a movement to get him up there. I don't think he'll ultimately get up there, and I'm neither here or there on that, because I do like the tradition, but he also is a great player. But to see him perform as well as he did in that game and just dominate them inside. I don't care that they had Javin DeLaurier and Marquise Bolden inside.
That's their problem.
Look, Marquise Bolden's a 5-star. Javin DeLaurier was a 4-star recruit. Are we really going to sit there and shed a tear for him? No. I mean, look at Luke May compared to those guys coming out of high school. Luke May would have been nothing compared to those guys, apparently, coming out of high school, because he was, a 3-star? Was he even a 3-star? I think he was officially a 3-star, but for most of the time in high school, he was a 2-star guy. That was going to be a preferred walk-on. And for him to go in there into the toughest environment in college basketball, although I think Fog Allen's kind of close, but we're not going to get into that, and dominate as he did, I think it was just phenomenal. And that's my favorite game of the season, hands down. It has nothing to do with the fact that Zion didn't play. I mean, I wish he would have played, and Luke still would have dominated like that. That would have been fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, so you'll take the one in Cameron. I'll take the one in the Smith Center for the obvious reason. You win your home floor. You protect home court against Duke. It was senior night, so it was a final chance to see Luke May, Kenny, and Cam Johnson on the home floor.
Roy gets a 9-0 against K in situations to claim a share of the ACC.
Which is just phenomenal when you want to argue about those two guys head-to-head since Roy came back home. We trailed at halftime of that game, which the game against Duke, we never trailed in Cameron. We led from the opening tip on. So you had that factor. Kobe White had the sick move where he waved through like 4 guys for a lay-in that just brought the Smith Center to life. So that was probably my favorite game. I love Duke Carolina. Of course, it's always fun when you beat them there, but it's even a little bit sweeter on your home floor, because in a while we've lost to them a lot on our home floor. And now we've won 3 straight at home, so we've kind of restored dominance on our home floor. Hey, we're not going to lose here to you guys, which has been kind of fun, because when Marcus Page was first there, we couldn't beat him at home, and we couldn't beat him at their place. So we were losing them way too much than I like. So I'll take that one. Was there a favorite moment that stood out to you? A play, a signature happening that, because I have mine. And mine's the when Kenny Williams hit that little 2-pointer at Clemson, and Kobe White just kind of lost his mind and literally punched him so hard he missed a free throw. And even though we only got Kobe for 1 year, we've never seen a guy as a freshman willingly support the other players when they did something good like this guy. We have like 4 GIFs saved now of him jumping up and down like a little 3-year-old when guys do something good. And I think when I think about this team, I'll remember that a senior making a big play, but that freshman being right there to congratulate him, because Kenny didn't have the kind of year he wanted to have. And it was a big-time moment because it was a really close game. Our head coach was in the locker room sick.
Right.
And that was probably my favorite moment, was Kenny hitting the shot and then seeing Kobe's reaction to the play.
My favorite play of the year was definitely Nazir's dunk on Florida State. Not the putback one, which we talked about that on this podcast, and I was disappointed that you didn't pick the putback dunk as the better of the 2 dunks, because you're a rebounding man. So I was shocked. But the initial one, the first one of the game in the first half, where he just goes in and just yams on him against a team that is historically known to have
great
these big men,
length.
and at that time, remember, they were one of the hottest teams in the country at the moment. And for us to win that game, that was one of the big plays. Of course, senior night always produces great moments with all the guys that were there this year. I think those are the types of moments that stand out the most to me. But yeah, the play of the year was definitely, for me, Nazir's dunk on Florida State.
It was a spectacular, big atmosphere, big game.
Right.
Really woke, and in that game in particular, he was our offense in the first half. And I think the problem was
you're right about
we never
that.
got that for a whole stretch of games that would come and go outside of the first weekend of the NCAA tournament.
Right.
And but it was what it was. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else we need to talk about in regards to the season? Anything you want to talk about that was the 2018-19 season?
I mean, not really. I mean, of course, we got to shout out Steve Robinson again for coming in that game against Clemson and taking over on the fly like that. I mean, this is the second time that we've seen him have to do it, but this was a little bit of a different situation than that game against Boston College, where that Boston College team really wasn't seen as a team that was. Were they even a tournament team that year? No, they were not a good basketball team. That's what I remember. This Clemson team, remember, this was probably Clemson's season. Yeah, let's be honest here. Now, of course, later on, it turned out that if they had probably beaten State, then maybe they would have gotten in because of how weak the bubble was. But at that time, it was seen as their season. And Steve Robinson had to basically take over and lead this team to victory almost midway through the game and did a fantastic job. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. So that's one of the moments that I will always remember about this season. And, I just, other than that, I don't think there's much. I don't know how many people will honestly say when they get older, let's remember this season. Let's remember the 2018-19 season for Carolina basketball. I don't think it's going to go down as one of those teams that was destined to win a title and just didn't, mainly because it wasn't like the 2012 team. I don't think it was comparable to the 84 team that everybody wants to compare it to. I think those two teams were much better. And then, 84, it was just, they just they couldn't get the job done, unfortunately.
This team will go on the list of teams that overachieved.
Right. So I think that's kind of where they're probably at. It was a good season. It's one that, I know I'll say this on a personal level. I had a ton of fun because this is the first time that we've been able to cover them in depth through a podcast, through the blog for you. So it was awesome because it really is a different perspective when you're covering the team day in and day out. When you're just a fan, it's awesome because you get into the games and everything like that. But when you're writing and talking about these guys pretty much every single day for about
6 months?
About 6 months. I can't believe it's been 6 months. I remember the Wofford game like that was yesterday.
Yeah.
I remember that. But yeah, no, I mean it was a ton of fun, and I'm ready for the 2019-20 season already. It's going to be exciting. It might not be your typical Carolina team once again where you got a ton of talent and these big time senior leaders, but it's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, I know for me, you mentioned the podcast and everything. It was a lot of fun. And something I've also tried to do as a fan, and I still struggle, is just enjoying the moment and being a fan of what we're a fan of, because it's something special. Mm-hmm. And losing sucks.
Oh, of course.
And I take losing as hard as anybody. Now, I've kind of gotten over the not sleeping part. Where I was younger, I didn't sleep after losses. But,
yeah, I don't buy that anymore. Not with you. You sleep with anything. Oh my God.
But covering this team and this program year in or day in, day out was a lot of fun. We're going to continue to do it throughout the summer. I told y'all the blog was going away. I'm probably going to start writing because I missed the grind of writing. So that will be back very soon.
I knew you couldn't leave
it, it was just a lot of fun. I'm with you. I mean, once I got over the sting of the Auburn loss, the emotional thing, the loss is still there. I'm still pissed about losing to Creighton in 2012, but I'm ready to go.
Oh yeah,
I'm ready to tip the ball back up November 6th against Notre Dame, and let's go play ball, because I think it's going to be a fun year, and we'll be here to cover that season just like we were this past year. So with that was 2018-19, guys. It was a fun year. Didn't end the way we wanted to, but how many times is it going to happen? We've only won the title 6 times since the NCAA tournament came into fruition, so it's not easy to do, but we're going to try again next year. Welcome to Beat the Buzzer. Now we'll move to the Beat the Buzzer segment. And today, that is full of recruiting. And we have some stuff because now we have some dates and some other recruiting came up this week.
Ooh.
So first off, Cole Anthony will announce April 20th. And that's the point guard from Oak Hill Academy that we're trying to lock down. We're seen as the favorite to get him, but you just never know with kids what they're going to do last minute. Roy has a great relationship with that school and getting their point guards. I know Ty Lawson went there. Nate Britt went there. I can't remember. I can't remember if Kendall Marshall was a product of that school or not. I think he was for some reason. The big man Matthew Hurt will announce the day before him. We're not likely to get him. He's kind of seen as a Duke or Kentucky guy as of right now, but we are still in the hunt to get him. He'll announce April 19th. Precious Achua, he will not announce until sometime late May. But we're kind of seen now as one of the front runners to get them between us, Kansas, and Memphis. It's kind of down to us three. And there is a need for us at small forward. And I can't tell you what Kansas and Memphis needs. One name to look out for if we do not land Cole Anthony is the Virginia Tech decommitment Anthony Harris, who is also a point guard. If we don't land him, that could be an alternate route we go in because we're going to need a point guard in this class one way or another. Whether we get a grad transfer or not, I still think Roy wants to bring in a new guy because 7th is a senior and your grad transfer would only have 1 year. And unless Leakey is supposed to be a 4-year guy, you just never know of him being a point guard. So I do think one way or another, if we don't land Cole Anthony, that is a name to kind of look out for. And then we did offer a 5-star shooting guard in the 2020 class, Jaden Springer, earlier this week. Right now, he's the Tennessee and NC State are the favorites, but you just threw in the blue blood into the hunt. And it seems a guy that Carolina got in late on but could make a run to get in the 2020 class. So there's your recruiting news for all you recruiting buffs. We did offer a Zaire Williams earlier this week, and among other guys, but that's the main stuff that came out of recruiting this week, and that's your Beat the Buzzer. And that's the edition of this podcast. Anthony, I do want to thank you for joining me, guys. You know where to find the podcast. Roy Voice is on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. The blog, right now temporarily down, but we'll be back up, and you'll find that on Medium.com, Facebook, and Twitter. Anthony, tell us about the spring game before we get out of here really quickly.
Well, it's on this Saturday, April 13th, so if you guys want to swing by, go ahead. There should be a good amount of the guys from the basketball team there. I think they'll show up and support those guys. Well, they've been at a lot of baseball games, so you never really know. Also, you should show up because you never know if Roy's going to be there. Roy shows up to these events out of the blue from time to time. And with Mac Brown being back, this might be the time to show up. But if you love football, really, if you're interested in what this Tar Heel team's going to look like, I would say show up. You're not going to see a lot of what they're going to do. They can't put a whole lot on paper because, let's be really honest, there are a ton of injuries right now on the defensive side of the football, and there's still some things that they're working on the offensive side of the football with a playbook that's not overly difficult. It's just taking some guys a little bit of time to get used to it. So while there won't be a ton of things on display, there's still some great battles that are going on. You will get a look at Jay Bateman's new defensive scheme and what that's going to look like, once that we get some of the guys healthy. And then, of course, you'll also get to see a little bit of Phil Longo's offense, and Mac Brown's going to be there. I mean, in case you guys don't know, Mac Brown's a Hall of Famer, and he's got a national championship trophy, so it's pretty good. And yeah, like I said, it's going to be great. There's going to be there should be some guys from the basketball program out there too. So if we see them out there, who knows? Maybe we sneak up and find a little bit of an interview with one of these guys out there. You never really know what's going to happen when we're out there at the spring game. So I think that's it, though, man. I think that's pretty much the spring game recap for you. What do you? I mean, that's it, right?
Yeah,
Closing down the podcast there.
Thank you for taking some time out of your day to come join me.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you guys for listening. Go Tar Heels.
Business is changing, which is why at Ford, when we say our commercial vehicles are built for business, we mean it. Our new Transit range is still tough, still powerful, and always dependable. But it now has the brains to match its superior brawn, with an even wider range of innovative features, smart technologies, and greater efficiency. It's designed to work as hard as you do. And with Ford Innovate driving better value, you can get 3.9% APR, a 5-year warranty, and a €2,000 bonus on the new Ford Transit range. Your business deserves the best in the the business. Choose Ford Transit, the future of commercial vehicles. Order now at your local participating Ford dealer and register by April 30th. Ford. Go further. Terms and conditions apply. See Ford.ie for details.
Raise your glass to Heineken 0.0. Great tasting beer with zero alcohol. Cheers to when you're keeping fit or even when you babysit. Cheers to when you choose to drive or